coming up next, Shilda, I'll be speaking to a very prominent person, a very interesting a person as well, a documentary maker and also an author. We're talking about a book called Operasi Nasi Kerabu, or more of a documentary that's been now also turned into a book. Lots of important things to chat about here.
Yeah, one of them, again, another mind-boggling question is, how do people live their lives in a war zone? It's all in this book. So if you want to know details, please stay tuned until the end of the show. After the commercial, we shall come back with Zan Azlee. He's a writer, documentary maker, he's everything. He's my ex-colleague, actually. So we come back after this, and we shall come back with Zan Azlee and Jessie. And thank you, Jess. Happy birthday, and wish all of us good luck again to the Breakfast Club. So high five. Happy birthday to you. All right.
Hi, we're back on the Breakfast Club. You're with me, Jessie Chahal, and as promised, we have a guest in the studio. Forget that he's handsome, forget that he's good-looking with wonderful hair. We're speaking to Zan Azlee, documentary maker and now author of the Operation Nasi Kerabu. Zan, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. I like that, a nice big one. It's our birthday right here on the
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. The Breakfast Club is 1 year old. Now, tell us, you're a documentary maker and turned author. This book and also the documentary is called Operasi Nasi Kerabu, Finding Patani in an Islamic Insurgency. Now, nice title. What is it all about?
It's actually about my adventures in Patani. Patani is a war zone in southern Thailand. I went there to make a documentary. So the book documents my entire journey there and everything that happened there.
Okay.
So, yep.
Well, it's an unusual interest to have to go somewhere and just to start, trying to dig out the story. So what inspired you to do that in the first place?
I've always been interested in war and conflict and all that.
As most guys are, I think, generally speaking. Yes.
And specifically a war that relates to like religion and race and culture and things like that. Even before I went to Patani, I've gone to Lebanon, I've been to Syria to make documentaries as well, and to see conflict that arises. So Patani was just a continuation of that. It was a new project I wanted to do, and so I went to Patani, and my interest was never, even though I'm interested in war and conflict and all that, I've never been interested in actually seeing war, seeing the violence or showing the violence to people,
right?
Because we have enough of that.
Yeah.
I'm not promoting violence, I'm promoting peace and harmony and all that. So when I went to Patani, my interest was actually to find out how normal everyday people live their lives amidst the violence.
Well, that's a very interesting fact, because we take for granted war zone, everyone's suffering now, but people still have their lives to go on with. They still have their daily routine, their schools and their work and everything.
Exactly.
So what was your finding from this research that you had done?
In Patani, the fighting has been going on for a very, very long time. It's been going on for so long that actually a lot of the media are slowly getting bored of it also, I think, and the people there, because it's been going on so long, the people there, they're like, they don't bother anymore. They're like, okay, so there's violence.
You do what you have
fighting.
to do. We have a life to lead.
I'm going to the market, I'm going to sell the fish. I'm going to buy the fish. I'm going to send my kids to school. Let's just go on with our lives, So yeah.
So how do they handle these pressures? I mean, how is it like to live in this war zone? Because we just watch it on TV and we think, oh, it must be really hard. But how are what is their livelihood like every day?
Well, actually, surprisingly similar.
Similar?
Similar to us. It's just that they are aware of the fighting, but I think they choose very hard to ignore it.
To ignore it.
Yeah.
Well, they
just
have no choice,
pretend like it's
really.
not there, because they really can't do anything about it. So they feel, we'll just go on with our lives. Hopefully everything will get better.
Yeah. Now, from a documentary, you made this into a book. Why did you... There's a story behind this.
Yeah. Okay. I went to make a documentary. I brought my camera and everything, When I went there was no intention to write a book.
Right.
Although I am a writer, and I write for print media and all that. But while I was there, I thought, hey, maybe I could write, something about this journey. And if I find a publisher, that would be interested, it would come out as a book. So while I was shooting, I kept in mind, maybe I can write something when I get back. And I got back. and I started making the documentary. And while I was editing the documentary in Malaysia, I started writing as well, slowly.
Okay.
Bit by bit, bit by bit. And at the end of the day, when the documentary was done, I had written the whole book.
Wow, that's called foresight, you know? That's called planning.
Yeah. And also the documentary was supposed to go on air on a local broadcaster, on a local station. But at the last minute, it was pulled off the air because of sensitive issues between Thailand and Malaysia at that time.
Right.
So I had a book.
Yeah.
So
Great.
I went around.
Backup plan.
Yeah, that's right. So I went around looking for a publisher. That's when I found ZI Publishing. Ezra Zayed, hey Ezra, you know, and they were interested in it. We had discussions, and finally the book came out. And the good thing was, we've decided, together with the publisher, we've decided to include a free DVD of the documentary in the book.
Oh, absolutely. So this is the book right here. We're going to be giving away 3 books at the end of the show as well today. It has a picture of Zan amidst all the, the everyday going-ons in Patani, and at the back there's also a DVD, so you might want to stay tuned to get to pick up on some of the answers we might be asking for the questions earlier. Okay, throughout it all, I mean, such an unusual thing to go and document and speak to people, obviously, be part of their daily lives and all of that. What has been the important lesson that you think you've learned?
I think that the lesson that I learned is that human beings are very resilient.
Okay.
You know, we don't give up. If we want to do something, we do it no matter what. You know, resilience. That's what I learned from the Patani people, because they're like, nothing's going to bother us. If we want to lead our normal lives, we're going to do it. We're not going to let anything stop us. So that was the main key lesson that I learned when I went to Patani.
So more like where there is a will, there is a way.
That's right.
And when you put in a hard, tough situation like that, you have no choice but to be stronger, isn't it?
That's right.
Oh, absolutely. Now, perhaps share with us a few things that's interesting about the people up north in Patani that many of us probably don't know about. Because we travel, we go to Bangkok and we go to other places, right? But we sometimes miss out on Patani.
They have really good nasi kerabu.
Okay.
Like my title, Operation Nasi Kerabu.
Operation Nasi Kerabu, yeah.
Actually, one interesting thing that I found out over there is that in Patani, the locals actually put a lot of trust in the Malaysian media.
Okay.
A lot of trust in the Malaysian media. It's kind of ironic for Malaysians.
Put that kind of trust in the Malaysian media.
Exactly, but it's because to them, right, whenever Malaysian media reports on the news that happens in Patani, in their area, to them it really feels objective. And it really feels like they're portraying the truth, right? Whereas if news about their area or the conflict in their area, issues in Patani, is reported by the media, the Thai media, they feel that it's a little bit slanted,
biased.
a little bit biased. But I think that happens in any country anyway. The government in power always controls the media. It's natural. It's natural. So to them, it was interesting for me to see that they actually tune in to the Malaysian media for news on their, on their issues.
So when you turned up there as a Malaysian, did they feel as if you were one of them or they were one of you, because they are Muslim Malays in Patani, so they feel a very high sense of Malaysianness, of being Malaysian?
They do. They identify with Malaysia a lot, but they also are very aware that they are Thai. They're Thai citizens.
Right.
They're not saying that, we want to be Malaysians. We're Malays, right? But we are Thai Malays.
Okay.
And just let us live as Thai Malays. So that's what they're trying to do. When I went there, yes, of course, they're very very welcoming, a Malay from Malaysia, Muslim, kind of like the brotherhood kind of thing. I was even invited to the university in Patani, Prince Songkla University, to give a lecture to Malay Studies Malay Studies majors.
Wow.
Students in the university.
Big
and
deal.
they were very interested. They were asking things about Malaysia and things, and we had a very nice conversation, which is documented in the book and DVD.
In the book and the DVD. My God, you're so happy and chirpy. You make me want to just read the book right now.
Why not? I wrote a book. I'm happy.
Now, okay, wait. We've got DVD and we've got book. Which one first? You know how they say sometimes the movie is better than the book and the book's better than the movie? Which one?
I think read the book first.
Read the book first?
Yeah, read the book first. Actually, you can do whatever you want, but if it was me, I would read the book first.
Read the book first, huh?
I don't know why, but
I was reading a bit of a paragraph in this book earlier, and you talked about where with your friend Dania.
That's right.
You were in the car traveling someplace, and it was the king's sister who had passed on, and the country was in mourning for a year. And here you mentioned how the Thais still adhere to all these sort of Thai customs, still very much the Thai way of doing things. How do you think they find that balance, being Malays living in a country that's surrounded by sort of a slightly different culture?
Well, at the moment, they do feel a little bit oppressed, right? They feel that they're not getting enough, like for example, Malay language education, religious education. They feel that it's not being provided enough in the public schools. So that's why in Patani, there are lots of small private schools where they, the locals send their children to, because they feel that they're not getting enough cultural knowledge. The Malay cultural knowledge in the public schools. So it is a struggle.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why they're struggling, against the Thai government. But to be fair to the Thai government, they have been implementing policies in the public schools in Patani to actually appease the people. So they have increased the hours of Malay language studies. They've provided religious classes in school, and certain schools have been identified in Patani where the government is, launching this project,
right?
And it seems to be going well. So hopefully, if with all this going on, that peace will eventually come to Patani and they won't have to fight anymore.
Absolutely, because Thailand as a whole generally seems to be a very peaceful nation.
Yeah.
So we hope that will be injected into that as well. Do they speak Malay much?
They speak Malay.
They speak Malay.
They speak Malay, but with a Kelantanese dialect.
Okay.
Very Kelantanese dialect.
Right.
But they're losing.
They're
The
losing
younger
the touch.
generation, they're losing that language. They, a lot of them now, the younger generation, they understand Malay, but they still speak in Thai.
Yeah, because the education system is in Thai.
Exactly,
They've been brought up, and all their friends speak that. We see some visuals of you here. Where is this place? Tell us about this.
This is the main
picture.
market in Patani town.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everyone's just about doing their everyday
Doing
stuff.
business, full of people. That's Dania, my fixer, who
Yes.
brought me around, and we are at the 500-year-old Krusek Mosque, the oldest mosque in Patani.
There's a picture of that in the book. I don't know if
Yes.
there's a picture of Dania, but he's definitely